And so the princess fell asleep for 100 years, and the good fairies put everyone else in the palace to sleep as well. First, the lilac fairy touched the king and queen with her wand.
Oh, I feel so sleepy.
I'm so drowsy. I can't seem to keep my eyes open.
The fairies touched the nobles and their ladies, and the musicians at the ball, and they fell asleep. They touched the soldiers in the palace, the cook in the kitchen, the cat on the doorsill, the dog in the yard, and they all fell asleep just as they were. But how can we be sure no one will come to awaken them before the 100 years are over? Asked the fairies. We will cause a deep forest to grow about the palace to hide it, said the lilac fairy, and we'll surround the palace with a great hedge of thorns so that no one can get through. Still, many people remembered their beautiful princess and told about her, and many a prince tried to find her. First came the cleverest prince in all the world.
There must be a path somewhere through this forest. If there is, then with my cleverness, I'll surely find it. Though the forest may be deep, I know I will surely find the way to go.
But the good fairies guarding the sleeping princess answered him, and it seemed like the echo of his own voice.
This way.
Which way?
This way. Start all over this way.
Which way? May the right way be. Which way?
This way.
Which way?
You'll discover
Which way?
someday if you follow me.
Hide and seek is still the game I play, yet I know I'll surely find the way.
And on went the prince, following the fairy voices, until the night came, and he fell asleep in the enchanted forest. The next prince was the jolliest prince in all the world.
As for a great prince not being able to get through a forest, that is the funniest thing I ever heard. Ha 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 ha, it's so silly. Ha 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 ha, willy-nilly. Though she's in the fairies' keeping, I will find her where she's sleeping.
And on went the laughing prince, but the good fairies brushed leaves and branches against him. They tickled, and he laughed louder and louder and couldn't stop.
Briars prickle, branches tickle, ever in the fairies' keeping. Let the princess go on sleeping.
And he would have turned around and gone back if he could, but tired at last of laughter, he fell asleep. The third prince was the bravest prince in all the world. He was out hunting with his men when he heard of the Sleeping Beauty.
My men, into the forest! Follow me! Proudly riding, we will find the Sleeping Beauty. Horses gallop, through the forest we will go.
But the fairies found a way to drive them off. They imitated the growling of lions and tigers and all the wild beasts of the forest.
On, my brave men!
But the horses were frightened and ran away, faster and faster, until at last the prince slipped from his horse, and he, too, fell asleep. And so many, many years went by, until at last a great prince came from far away over the sea. I have heard of a sleeping beauty, he said to everyone he met. Can you tell me where to find her? One day he met an old man at the edge of a forest. Have you ever heard of the Sleeping Beauty? Asked the prince.
Yes, I've heard of her. It was a story my grandfather told me. Deep, deep in this forest she lies asleep.
Will you take me to find her?
Oh, not I, my prince. Many have gone into this forest to find the Sleeping Beauty, and none have returned.
Then I will go alone to seek her.
Into the forest went the prince, and followed the path on and on. At last he came to the palace. And here is the garden, he whispered, and here is the door in the tower. He went up the winding stairs and came to the room where the princess lay sleeping. So beautiful was she, He leaned over and kissed her.
Awake, my princess.
The princess awoke. The magic spell was over. And now everyone in the palace awoke, as though they had fallen asleep only a moment before. The king awoke on his throne, and the queen beside him.
I've had such a pleasant nap.
Think of my falling asleep during the princess's birthday ball.
Throughout the palace there was sudden hurry and bustle. The dog awoke in the palace courtyard, the cat on the doorsill, the cook in the kitchen. The soldiers awoke in the palace. The musicians awoke and went on playing. And the friends of the princess awoke dancing and singing, just as when they had fallen asleep.
My partner, then sing 1, 2, 3 and come dancing with me. Hear bells ringing, to our singing, as everyone counts 1, 2, 3. Now each choose a partner, then sing 1, 2, 3 and come dance one and all. Hear bells ringing, to our singing, as everyone joins in the dance at the ball.
And here is our beautiful princess, cried the guests at the ball. But who is the handsome prince by her side? Who can he be, wondered the king and queen, until they remembered the wish of the lilac fairy. It must be Prince Charming, they cried. The wish of the lilac fairy has come true. It is Prince Charming, said the lilac fairy. Dreams now are ended, and the prince and princess will live happily forever after.